with the current state of the MCU and everyone talking about how it's building the fandom seems to be split in two ways. There's one half of us that are like they're building to something, and then there's the other half of us that are like the MCU is aimless right now. So with the current state of the MCU and sort of a flux kind of position, I think they are building to something with Doomsday, and I have fully deluded myself into believing that the thing that they are building to is the Children's Crusade. So come with me down my delusional path and watch me make some gumbo for my roommate and my husband as I do so. So let's do a quick rundown for those who don't know. But the Children's Crusade is an Avengers slash Young Avengers story that centers around Billy and Tommy searching for Wanda. Let's back that up a little bit more. Billy and Tommy, Wanda's kids, are members of the Young Avengers, a team that in the comics was assembled by Vision. So here we go. In my heart, Vision Quests revolves around White Vision, the current version of Viz that we have in the MCU, exploring the memories he was given. This includes memories of his sons, who he is attempting to track down. This shouldn't be too difficult because we know that Billy because we now have Billy, who at the end of Agatha All Along is on his own quest, presumably to find his brother. So perhaps their paths cross and they're both looking for Tommy, and then they can together assemble the rest of the Young Avengers. Now we get to Doomsday. Now, clearly, this is a delusion because at no point in this could they possibly be looking for Wanda because Wanda's dead. Actually, you know what? They totally could be because there's no reason why they could simply not know that. And Wiccan is pretty badass, so he could just like sense her, um, even without her having her powers, because in the comics she is depowered at this point. But now we get to Doomsday. Now I have no idea what their excuse is for casting RDJ. To me, that is entirely inexcusable, and it's already stepping on whatever story they've chosen to tell. It's not this one. I'm just let me go down my delulu path, okay? Anyway, in the Children's Crusade, when they track down Wanda, she's with Doctor Doom. Okay. Um, so clearly I'm in my own little world here. Um, but with her being with Doctor Doom, it and them bringing a version of Doctor Doom into the world, um, that does lend itself to the Children's Crusade a little bit. Um, the problem here is that actually, you know what? Fuck, I have more evidence. At the end of the Marvels, our end credit scene was an alternate universe where the X-Men obviously exist. Now, the X-Men are also a huge part of Children's Crusade. Wolverine literally tries to kill Wanda. Um, Obviously he doesn't. Because of Iron Lad, who we have transformed in the MCU into, I think, if they include an Iron anything in the Young Avengers, it's going to be Riri, and that's more than fine. Um, so the Young Avengers escape with Wanda in sorry, I'm back on the comics. The Young Avengers escape with Wanda into the time stream and land in a past. They land in a past. Um, Considering that we're jumping between universes, that should also be an easy thing to reconcile in the MCU. And when they are all returned to the present, um, again, we're relying very heavily on Scarlet Witch's mental instability, which unfortunately is a crux of most of her stories, but they've already not fixed it in the MCU, so whatever. When the group returns to the present, Scarlet Witch is in like this super deep kind of delusional levels of depression, and she vows to kill herself. Um, which obviously her children and Hawkeye do not allow her to do. But Beast is a real central point of this story. And that is one of the X-Men that we saw in the end credit scene of the Marvels. We don't actually need Jessica Jones in this story. She's in it, but like whatever. The main problem with this is a lot of this the main problem with my delusion is that a lot of this story, the Children's Crusade, centers around it being the aftermath of House of M, and we obviously didn't get House of M. Um, so that's it's really just going to be the aftermath of Multiverse of Madness, which is fine. Um, but see what happens when you ruin a character. It's really hard to come back from that. I'm not bitter. Everything's fine. But they have a battle with Doom, blah, blah, blah. Now, the biggest part of this, the reason I want it to be true is because at the end of this, Wanda very clearly states that she has spent a lot of time being Magneto's daughter, Pietro's sister, Vision's wife, the boy's mom, and she wants to go off on her own and discover who she is. And I think that's a great way to fix oh, the horrible things Michael Waldron did to my sweet, sweet Wanda. But considering Michael Waldron also wrote this one, this is where we get super delulu because that man hates women, and I know that this is not going to go well for me. Clearly, I'm in my own little world because Elizabeth Olsen isn't even in the movie. But I do not care. This is the delusion that I choose to hold on to, and no one will be able to convince me otherwise until that movie comes out. So, thanks for listening to my rambly delusion, and please go read The Children's Crusade because it's great.